X-Death on the beat.
First, I want to take the opportunity to thank Brother Bellinger and Building Better Men's Project. This is a great event, an opportunity to come out and really talk about how can we help our city. We have a lot of black men, influential black men in our city who are doing things independently, but how can we collectively get together to figure out how we can help our black boys? This is an event, an opportunity to have people come in, fellowship, no debating, but just an opportunity to put the platform out there and figure out what can we do collectively to change our city. We have some great gentlemen in here, and me in particular, my focus on this will be how can we continue to improve the educational system for African American men. And I think we have some great insight on that. Part of it is passion. The other part about it is taking some of the politics away and figuring out strategically how do we help that process of education. It's not always about the school, but it's about educating black boys so they have the fundamental skills to be successful in life. So I'm just glad to be a part of this and do whatever I can to help us. Again, I want to thank Brother Bellinger and Building Better Men for this conference. State-regulated schools are no better. And it has nothing to do with teaching. First off, Detroit has excellent teachers in the city. And that's what people tend to forget. It's not the teachers. Teachers come to work every day prepared, ready. They get bogged down and they get tired because they're not being paid adequately. Damn, the teachers gave back money just to keep the system going. People act like they're never going to get their money back. So so many factors in terms of who is running the schools is the biggest issue. The state-funded schools always say you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. So they, instead of trying to figure out foundationally how can we fix the system, they tore down old schools, build new schools, put the same teachers in the situation, with the same students, and then merge students and say, hey, we have a new system. So nothing different about it whatsoever. And so you spent a lot of money when you really could have said, how can we take this money, millions upon millions of dollars. They built Mumford High School, brand new school, beautiful building. It's the same system. And so taking a little of that money and saying, how can we get resources? If literacy is an issue, how can we get more literacy teachers in here? How can we revamp our curriculum? What resources in terms of what our kids really need that we don't have a lot of this? How can we get counseling in there? How can we find ways to deal with our students holistically so that they can become better students? How can we get crime interventionists in our schools? So it's the thought process of what's important. Do we just want to make the grade? And as we look at colleges are even moving away from this standardized testing and saying ACT, SAT.
For a year, went to OCC, tried to do the education thing, but it wasn't for me at that time. But education is how we're going to progress our communities. It's how we're going to get folks to have their own businesses. It's all that's going to be tied to education. And I'm trying to figure out how budgeting from state legislatures that don't never ever attended a school in Detroit can tell you what you need. This gentleman can tell you what you need because he does it every day. But the folks that's making these decisions don't reside in Detroit, and they don't care how successful they're going to be. I'm trying to figure out if I can throw this back to you guys. Who in the world?
Hello, my name is Phil Black, and I am the Executive Director for the Manhood Project, a male mentoring and leadership development program here in Detroit, Michigan. I just want to thank Odis Bellinger, who's a good friend and colleague and one of my Be Me brothers, for putting on this conference because it's critically important. It's important for two reasons. One, it gives us an opportunity to engage our young men in a conversation that is crucial to their development around the challenges that they're facing today. But it also gives us an opportunity to bring together a lot of the mental and thought leaders in our community so that we can come together and create solutions so that we can move forward and help them to move forward in their development. So I just want to thank you again, Brother Bellinger, for putting on this conference, and I'm excited for what today is going to bring.
Hi, my name is Kenneth. Today I'm here with a lot of older people, and I'm young, and I was very interested in what they have to talk about kids, violence, and it was very interesting. I got a lot of information today, so I thank you for it.
He said marriage begins with that first crisis, right? That first crisis, that affair, financial situation, the families warring. Because most of the time, we're not warring with the one in front of us, we're warring with those who are dancing in their feet. The girlfriends, family members, or what have you. Especially the controversy I had to deal with was my wife becoming a Muslim when her mother didn't believe in anything. She was not even a Christian. But she sure didn't want her daughter to be a Muslim. But then it took roughly, think about this, 10 years before she saw the value in me as a man, taking care of her. And here's the other thing, 27 years. My wife has only worked 9 months in 27 years. Now, you say, well, she's just barefoot in the house. No, my wife has a PhD, a master's degree, you know, all of that good stuff. But we saw more value in the stability of our home than in things. And the bigger thing was this was I had to be the man to provide her those things and make her comfortable enough to not say, I gotta go out into the workforce, but I wanna raise students in our home that the worst grade any of my children ever brought home has been a B. Because why? I let the school system give them an introduction to education, but we teach them at home.
Okay. Yes, I'd like to first thank Brother Odis Bellinger for inviting me to share the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at this male leadership conference, and also having the foresight and insight to bring all of us together to brainstorm solutions to the issues that are plaguing Detroit, not only Detroit, but our young black men who is the future leaders of this world. Some of us have less years in front of us than we have behind us, so we have to start preparing for the future and start giving them hope to be able to put into place that which we have yet to accomplish. There's old saying, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that there are old men for counsel and young men for war. We have to prepare them for the war that awaits them. And I think that when we come together as black men, that many of the issues that are plaguing us, anywhere from education to healthcare to violence in the streets of Detroit, that those will be solved because of thorough knowledge of oneself. Once we know the value of each other and spend time together and start coming across denominational ideologies, religious ideologies, and different socioeconomic backgrounds, we'll be able to solve most of the problems that present themselves to us, because most of it is due to lack of knowledge and we're not communicating. Although the ones who are perpetrating the crimes and the indignities in our community, they're more organized than we are. And we have to break down the barriers that have been created amongst us so that we can work together as one common unit and come together under one cause. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our unity is stronger than a nuclear weapon. And it is once we become unified, that's when we will unite underneath one common goal, one common thrust. We will not get hung up on who's in charge, who's the boss, who called it, but we will start looking for solutions. And I believe today was very successful because I was able to learn from my fellow brothers different ideologies, different answers to some of the puzzling questions that we're all presented with. Also, I was able to engage with some younger men who were able to come in common with their feelings and express the need to have elders such as myself and some of the brothers here to be able to help them to get through some of the struggles that we have had as men, but not had the right people to reach out to. And right now, today's youth, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, is the most courageous and strongest generation ever produced. It's only they're fighting the wrong wars. And they just need to be able to connect with someone, because when I was growing up, we had the Bobby Seals, the Huey Newtons, Malcolm X's, Stokely Carmichael's that we produced. I said we haven't produced a like generation of leaders, so they are leaning towards the Jay-Z's, the Lil Waynes, the Steph Currys, as opposed to having a strong male model to be able to pattern themselves after. I had said that you usually learn from three ways. You learn once under a master teacher, or under intense study, or you learn from mistakes. We have to avoid the mistakes that some of our youth are making and become the master teachers, like our tradition has always been, that the elders taught the young, and then the tradition continues on. So I do believe that this is a beautiful start to a movement. This is not a moment, it's a movement. And I believe that the movement will continue to gain momentum, and as we start to move progressively toward our expected goal and aim, that we'll have others to join us and or fall off, because our success is not measured by numbers, it's measured by the quantity and the motives and the integrity and heart of which those who participate are involved. So I look forward to working further with my brother. We've worked together for quite some time underneath the same umbrellas out here, trying to help the young men become the reason why God put them into existence in the first place. So I look forward to further working. My brother, I want to thank the brother again for inviting me to participate. I want to thank Lisa Armstead for her role. I want to thank you, brother. I don't know your name right now, but the thing is for you to be able to capture such a momentous event, because it is through your photography and through your tape that this momentous occasion will be remembered and cataloged and archived, and we should always archive our accomplishments, whether big or small. So I look forward to seeing the end result of this, and may God bless us all with understanding. And I want to thank you on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, your brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam. We greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Stay there.
My name is Edward Dean with Avengers Youth Mentoring Organization. I deal with a lot of youth throughout the Metro Detroit area, and we have so many kids out here that need strong male role models in their lives. The thing of a role model is an example, someone to lead them and show them the right way throughout the city, how to live a life successful, how to make it to the next level. And with so many youth needing that, what Mr. Odis Bellinger is putting on is awesome, to bring 1,000 men together so that we all can collaborate on how to make a difference within our communities. I love what he's doing, and we're going to make a big difference within our community coming together, getting these kids one kid at a time and just showing them the ropes, guiding them along the journey, and showing them that they can be successful. There's things that need to be done. I'll be speaking on the event where it talks about how can we eliminate the senseless violence taking place within our communities. How we're going to be able to come together and grab these babies up. We can start with the playgrounds, we can start within the school system, we can start within the household. But if we don't take the step, it'll never get started. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And you'll learn a little bit more about me. If you want to find more about Edward Dean, you can go to our website at www.avengersteam.org, or you can find me on Avengers on our Facebook page at Avengers Mentoring. Thank you.
All right. My name is Jonathan Wynn. I am the CEO and Director of Training and Education for Kingdom Concepts. It is a multifaceted consulting firm that I established. I'm also ordained minister in the Church of God in Christ. I'm also a husband, 32 years of marriage, father of 4, grandfather of 2. I'm excited to be here at this conference. Male upliftment is something I'm very passionate about. I've enjoyed working with Odis Bellinger for probably about the last 20 plus, maybe 25 years. And we've been working around the whole issue of male responsibility. We've partnered in many programs in the community and in various schools around the city of Detroit. And so I know his heart and his commitment to this work, and anything he asked me to do, I'm already doing it before he finished explaining to me whatever it is. So he has my support 1,000% because I know his heart and his commitment to this work. And this is something that I've been doing for full time since 1992 as I changed careers from the world of work and business into the field of education. I was drawn to education by working with UAW and Ford. I was sent on a mission to find a way to eliminate the 9th grade dropout rate in Detroit, which around the 1991-92 was reported that the dropout rate in the city of Detroit was about 40%, and then every week it would go up 45%, 50%, depending on who was telling the story. And so myself and 9 others were sent into the schools on behalf of UAW and Ford to work with the middle school students to help find a way to get the students' minds connected to their purpose and reason for being in school. In other words, we we're there to help them connect school to the world of work, so that school would become relevant and they would understand the importance of why they needed a strong education. So I have remained in that field. I've since retired from Ford, but I've remained full-time in the field of education, working as an administrator and as a consultant currently. And it's a very important job. It's a great opportunity to impact our community. I am a product of Detroit Public Schools, and so I always felt that I owe anything that I learned through my travels and my experiences in life as an educated person. I feel I owe it back to my community to lift up the next young man who's coming along, because I was not always a great scholar. I had some points in my educational progress where my grades did not reflect my intelligence, and it was mostly a result of me not applying myself appropriately, not understanding the purpose for the talents and gifts that I had. And so I am a person who believes in looking at our young people, particularly our young men, as they can become, not what they did today, but always look at who they are becoming. And that's one question I'm always asking our young people: who are you becoming? And so that is what drives me. I spend a lot of time working with an organization called COSBOC, the Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color. And we focus on finding solutions of how to educate black and brown boys. So we're looking forward to having more involvement in Detroit. Mr. Bellinger would definitely be a part of that process. And so I'm excited to be here today, privileged to work with the men about marriage and family, because in our work, one of the things we find out is that a lot of the trauma and pain that our boys are having are all centered around things that are happening in the home. Lack of fatherhood, mom and dad not getting along. And it is my personal belief that, and I'll send this message to any man that'll listen, it's a challenge, but I believe we owe it to our children to love their mothers. And so if we really want to right a lot of the wrongs in our community, I believe that's a great place to start. Let's start practicing how to love the mothers of our children. And so maybe in the past you have sown your seed around different women, you have children by different women. You cannot change the past, but going forward, we can begin to right those wrongs and do what's right by our children, and that is to love their mother, to demonstrate that we are becoming what we desire them to be. One of my great mentors in this city, who's another champion for working with young men, Bishop P.A. Brooks, who allowed me to work with our Rite of Passage program, which one of our speakers here today is a product of that. Dr. Eddie Connor and his brother and many other young men were a part of that group. And one of the things that he taught me in that process, he says, you have to be what you want to talk about. And so before I began working with young men, I was taught by my mentors that you have to be what you want to talk about. And so that's what I'm trying to instill in the men today as we talk about fatherhood and marriage, is that we have to be what we want to talk about. So I'm encouraging every man, let's lead by example, and then our young men and our sons will have a real model to follow as opposed to role models. So it has to be authentic and real, and then their confidence will come up that they can also do great things. And so thank you for this space. I'm honored to be here.
Ready, I'm ready.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm KL Belvin from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm excited to be here in Michigan, hanging out with my brother Odis Bellinger. And I want to say thank you to Brother Bellinger for inviting me, because I am filled with so much positive energy that I got from the brothers here. And it's one thing to talk to a brother via Periscope and you speak on the phone. We had never met until today. And he trusted what he found out about me enough to have me come here into his world and be a part of it. And I'm internally grateful, because I got to watch a passionate man today. I got to watch a man who gives of himself to those that was here. He made sure that his vendors were taken care of. He made sure that the program was well run. He made sure that everything that could be handled was. And I'm not here on an everyday basis, but I can only imagine what he does on a daily basis. And now I see how he's did 25 years here in Michigan. And I'm gonna say to anyone that watches this video, as an outsider, that's what I am, you need to support this man somehow, whether some way. Whether you come in, shake his hand, come in and ask him how can you donate to what he's doing, or just simply get involved. Because when you have someone that passionate, working to save the lives of young black men, that's not measurable. And I just want to say thank you again to him, and I'm elated. Now, a little bit about myself. I am an educator. I am a speaker, I am a mentor, and I am a man of God. And as a child of God, when another child of God calls out and says, I need your help, you show up. I'm out of Brooklyn right now, but in 2 months I'm moving to Dover, Delaware. So if you need to reach me, just search KL Belver on Google. You'll see all the things that my wife and I do. But it's not about me. It's about Odis Bellinger. And again, if you're not supporting Odis Bellinger, I'm going to ask why. Why not? Because we say we want something different. We say we want change. Well, here's a man offering that change, offering that difference. Why don't you support it? So again, thank you, Odis. And if you're watching, do something. God bless.
I cannot say how overjoyed and filled I am after conducting a session on safety in the city of Detroit. I mean, to engage with men that want to be better and want the community to be better is such a tremendous opportunity. And the energy that's in this room, I want to give a huge shout out to Odis Bellinger for being the visionary to bring this group of men together. And I'm optimistic. I mean, we lost a 13-year-old in a tragic way recently, and it just tore my heart out. But today I'm encouraged because the ideas, the energy, I mean, no egos. We have an opportunity to do something really big, to really change the landscape of violence in the city, to help reform what education is supposed to be about, reprioritize the things that really make a difference. So, you know, our black men can actually take our rightful place, for us to be the kings that we are, for us to understand that our history didn't start in the bowels of slave ships, but our contributions to society, I mean, from mathematics to architecture, looking at the pyramids in Egypt. I mean, these things really make a difference. So, you know, shout out to Odis, and I cannot wait till we present this product to the mayor, to the chief, to whoever's in charge of the schools at the time, so they understand that this is an organized community, that we are not the first 6 minutes of the news of murder and mayhem, but we're husbands, we're fathers, we're community leaders. We have ethics and morals and integrity, and we love, we feel, we hurt when we see the condition that our people are in, and we're not waiting for anybody to save us. We're gonna do this ourselves. So I'm excited about what Odis is doing. I'm honored to be a part of it, and I look forward to making great changes in the city of Detroit.
Today was a day that men came together and decided to answer 3 questions. 1, how can I be a better husband and father? 2, how can I help improve the education in our community, the standards that we set for our young people? And 3, how can I help eradicate this senseless violence in our city? I was very proud that men came out and men decided that, hey, we want to do something. We want to do something. So I appreciate it. Connect with me, Odis Bellinger, buildingbettermen.org. Thank you.